All right, all right. Welcome to Clear Vision Wednesday. I am Claudia Mühlenweg. I'm a holistic vision teacher and creator of the Natural Clear Vision Method. And if you're interested in natural vision improvement, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and maybe share it with some friends that can benefit. And for today's episode, I have a guest that I'm very excited about. She is German, just like me, and we're both in Germany here today. And her name is Sylvia Gelman. I will bring her on in a moment. She is a vision trainer and also an educator for other trainers in Germany. And she will share how she went from -9.5 diopters to, I think, like at least half of that in just a short time, and what helped her. So Sylvia, let me bring you. You have to unmute yourself. So bring you on. Welcome.
Yeah, hi, Claudia. Hi, all the YouTube community. I'm very excited to be here. Yeah.
Me too. So we talked a little bit before the show, and we talked a little bit about how, sometimes people get confused about certain concepts. When we first learned vision improvement, I was certainly confused about some things. So tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into what you're doing, and so that people have a little bit of a context of who you are and what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Before I start, Claudia, I thought that, please, if you watch this now, if you're live, so don't look at the screen the whole time, because I have no slides. There's nothing to see here, except when I say, okay, we do some exercise. I brought something with me. So look out of the windows or even close your eyes. Then if you have a question, type it in the chat, and then again, go away from the screen. You don't need to look at the screen. This is very important for me. Okay, so thank you, Claudia. So my introduction is that for a long time I was I knew that there were something like eye exercises, but to start it really took me. Though that's why we put the title today, My Myopic Way to Clarity, because this is a little bit special. One has to know, and I made it also like this. So my background is I was a computer scientist and I was working a lot in front of screens, and so my vision got bad, really bad. So I had to do something about it. If not, I would have to buy progressive glasses, something like this. So then I really started to do something. Before I knew a little bit, but I didn't start before. And now I have a vision school in Germany. I teach in German normally. And I'm teaching in the tradition of Wolfgang Rosenbauer. Maybe somebody heard of him already. And and he passed me his clients then when he stopped teaching and started to be a famous sculptor now. So so in this tradition I'm teaching, and I also have education in breath therapy, which I will introduce a little bit, and quantum healing we talked about. It's a little bit difficult to show you today, but I will show you other things.
All right. So basically tell us, like, when you first began to learn a little bit about vision improvement. I learned with a book. I started with a book, and that helped me when I was really young. When I was a teenager, the book definitely helped me. And when I was older, so my own story, I don't want to get into mine, but I was out of glasses in my 20s, and then I was back in glasses in my 30s. And when I tried it again, I definitely needed more help. Like, the book alone didn't cut it, so to speak. So I think you had a similar experience. Or share with us, like, what were the concepts that were really helpful for you, and which were the things where you're like, I don't understand. What does that mean?
Yeah, I brought 9 points, like nine
Okay.
steps, and it started exactly what you told. Also, we had the same book. We were both reading Lisette Scholl. You told me once.
Exactly.
So, that's quite funny. Yeah. So so my first point is to set a goal. So in the beginning, I didn't have a goal. I didn't know where to start. You read a book, but you don't know really, what can I improve, where I can start. So this for me is really the first step, that I set myself a goal. And this goal in that time was, I don't want to use reading classes. I want to see again like a myopic person near. I want to see clear again. So that was my first step. My short-term goal. Yeah, because it was not so big. It was quite fast that I reached it. And this is very important for myopics. We can set us a long-term one. Yeah, so I want to get rid of my glasses. Yeah, but like for myop, you see, I still have glasses which I'm using here. It's so far away that it's sometimes very difficult. And and also medium-term goals. So to make from these little steps, this is very important. And that's the first part, to really set a goal. Like you said, if we have a teacher, he will bring us to set a goal. This is the first step I do with my clients, and sure you do it.
And I love what you said, so that you don't just, my goal is to like see, the street sign 2 blocks away clearly, but you basically wanted to improve your ability to look up closely, which as a nearsighted person, if you're -9, you probably have a 10 centimeter or something range. But so you were like working in this near point and improving that one before you went on to longer distance. Yeah. Okay. That's a great point.
Exactly. That was the point that I entered, because I got presbyopic, and so I got new contact lenses, which were stronger, and suddenly I couldn't read near anymore. And also when I took off the contact, I couldn't read in any distance. I could see clear. And this was new for me. And this was so frightened that there I started.
Well, that is pretty scary. So when you're -9, your area of clarity is like 10 centimeters, but then you got presbyopia, which is the old age side. So now that area wasn't clear either. So basically, and that's scary, right? When you get to that point where nothing is clear, right?
Yeah, okay. Exactly. And I knew from the book from Lisette Scholl that there is something. And the book I discovered when I was 18. And when this happened, it was 2016. So I said, okay, there's internet now. What is out there more than books, And I found a lot. That's really, we need really to be with the back at the wall to really get in to do. To really do things. And so that was my step. Then I said, it can't be that this it went so fast. It was just immediately. And so I threw away these new contact lenses. I really put them in the trash bin. I think like 300 euros, something like this. It was quite expensive ones. And I said, no, this is not the solution. And quite fast it went back again, that I had this good myopic side in this area. And then I started, okay, now we can continue. So the second step is take off your glasses. It sounds so simple, but it's really this, that it's really important. I did this actually since I read the book from Lisette Scholl, but only inside the house, only in an area where I could be also blind, and I could find everything, I knew all. And so I started to take off the glasses outside, which was a really big step, because myopia is all about insecurity and fear. And I discovered in the pedestrian area of my city that I could read signs. That was so wow. These big advertised signs of the shops, which are with a good contrast, I could read them. I said, what is this? Why I can read them? So these were the first things. So take off your glasses. This is really, really a step. And I have people in my courses, especially in companies, where they're not so much into it. They just want to look, and we make a course of 3 hours. And they left and they say me, I don't want to take off my glasses. They said, it's okay. You don't have to. It was just an offer. But there are people, they don't take off their glasses. And I have another example from a father. He told me that the mother, even, she was very myopic. I was making, the child was in my high school. And the father told me that the mother, she's even under the shower, she don't take off their glasses.
Wow.
Wow. This
So
even, I never thought about. She was like -10 or something like this.
have you noticed a different, like, I'm just curious as you're sharing this, like, because I feel like when I work with nearsighted people, like some of them actually love the blur so much that it's almost like even reduced glasses. No, I don't want to wear them ever, because it's almost like a colleague of mine calls it, one of his clients said the blur blanket. It's like that cozy blanket because you don't have to see everything clearly. And then there's other people, like you said, that are so attached to this hyper clarity that even the slightest blur. So I'm curious, how you approach that. Do you just let them be like, okay, continue to wear your glasses, or how do you approach this with other people? I know we're talking more about your own journey, but how do you approach this? Because I think it's a very important step to get out of your full strength glasses. Otherwise, right, you can't really see improvements.
Also with the mother, and also with this woman in my course, it was at the end, and she made a decision for her. So you can't do anything as a coach against. If she will come back after some years, like we were putting a seed in the ground, but there was so much, so no, it's impossible for me. So there's nothing to do about it. It's just to not forcing, and not, I don't go inside and say, yeah, but you have to, or try to convince her. Yeah, I told her, it's okay, you don't have to, If not, she will go in resistance. And
right.
This will close the way even in the future, because in her head will be, there was a woman who told me I have to take off the glasses, and if they come into the resistance, that's not a good idea. Yeah, you close the door with this. Yeah, so this is what I do. Yeah, I observe it. Yes. Yeah, so this is an important step, and you can always play with it. I always say to the people, don't force that you don't use glasses in no way. Use it what it is. It's a crutch, a crutch to help you in situation where you feel insecure, and when you feel good, you can take it off. So my first experience was actually in the forest. It was in the forest here nearby, an area which I knew very good. And there I took off the glasses for the first time outside of the house. And then afterwards I said, okay, in a pedestrian area, there are no cars, there's nothing dangerous. I can also try it. And so slowly I experimented. That's it. So the third step is measure your eyesight by yourself and start to use reduced glasses. For me, it comes together, because we can do a lot of eye exercises and improve vision, but if we put on again the same glasses, the same prescription, we keep in this state. We have no chance. And also in this, when I have a reduced prescription, I can feel more. How do I see? I take a little bit away, so there is a range I can improve, and I can see, oh, today I see worse. So this is very important in this step. So to put always glasses on which you can see totally clear, it's not a good idea. And this is the main step which helped me to really reduce this high diopters, because I started to use glasses for the near work, for the computer and so on.
So basically, really important what you're saying, just so I summarize. So basically, if you wear your full strength prescription, then you don't really know how your vision varies. You don't really know. But if you have a little bit of reduction, you get a feedback, like when you're like, let's say you're not blinking or you're staring or you're, whatever you're doing, bad habits. Oops, hold on. How do we, sorry, somebody's sharing the screen. Davida, can you please stop your screen share? I don't know how I stop this. Okay, thank you. We should disable this in the future. Anyway, sorry about this. So basically the idea is that you get feedback, right? That you have, when you have a little bit of a reduction and you're relaxed and you use good habits, you see clearly, but if you don't, then you get some blur and you get some feedback. So that's step number 3, really important. And can you talk a little bit about measuring your own eyesight? You said measure your own eyesight and this process, because that might be very scary for people, right?
Yeah, but it's quite simple, really, because we do it the other way around. When you go to an optician,
Mm-hmm.
He will go over the size of the letters and the distance, how much you can read. But you can do it the other way around, and this is what I do, and this is what I teach to the people. You measure the visual range until you can see clearly. So, for example, I can see clearly 10 centimeters, and then it is a really simple calculation to do, because the diopters is just this in reverse. I don't know the good English.
Yeah, there's a formula for nearsightedness
Exactly.
with distance and diopters. Yeah, which doesn't apply to farsightedness.
Which is it's for myopics.
Right.
Here with myopic, and yeah, exactly. The myopic people can measure their eyesight by themselves. So at the beginning, I really measured my eyesight 3 times a day. In the morning, in the after the break. So I went always outside of the office. After this break, I measured, and in the evening. And I discovered, some surprising things, because I discovered that my eyesight was worse in the morning than in the evening. And I didn't thought it would be like this. Yeah, I thought, of course, you were sitting the whole day, minimum 8 hours in front of a screen. It's worse in the morning, in the afternoon. No, it was the other way around. And I discovered with this measuring, which I did really for quite some months, that I discovered that after sunning, which I did in the break, I could see such much further. And I was like, wow, what happened? What did I do? So there I discovered the first time this feedback from my body. And in the beginning of my way, I needed this measurement because I hadn't a very good biofeedback from my body. We will come to this later.
Okay.
So the measuring at the beginning for myopes can be very, very supportive to get really these results. These are numbers, and they can prove it. And after time, you get this feeling. When do you see better or when do you see worse? You don't need to measure anymore. Today, I don't measure anymore. But in the beginning, it's very good. Also, to then take an average, and first of all, you discover if you're overprescribed, which often happens, and yeah, how much to reduce your first classes. So
do you use like a Snell and eye chart, or or do you have a specific eye chart you give to people, just so for those listening or watching?
Oh yeah, I don't have it here, but it was like I took like something like this. Yeah. So from my nose, because it was, like you said, 10 centimeters I could see afterwards.
So you basically just measured what I call that the edge of clarity or edge of blur. You measured that, but you didn't actually put an eye chart on the wall. Okay. Mm-hmm.
No, because it's too difficult in this short range how you will
right. Yeah.
But
okay.
if one has only, I don't know, 1 or 2 diopters, it can be with an eye chart, the distance, and it should be more or less always in the same light, in the same.
What about glasses? So when I'm just curious about your approach, because I know sometimes, like you said, you just mentioned people can be overprescribed. So I always, when I work with people, and I'm curious how you do it, I have them measure with their glasses from the eye doctor, the prescription glasses with the eye chart on the wall, right? The regular eye chart, so that we know, do they actually see better than they're supposed? Like, are they overcorrected or overprescribed versus? But you basically just do the approach with the near point so that you can figure out how much you can reduce.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And then I started to use the first classes for the near, and still my old classes for far, and it then didn't took much time that I could I could drive with these glasses again really good.
So basically,
So
you had 2 different pairs of glasses. You used a reduced pair for near work, computer work, but then for driving, you used it. Okay, I think that's very important.
I still have it. I still use it, and everybody should use it, because glasses are always for one distance.
Exactly, and I think that's a good point that people don't realize.
Yeah.
Right, that diopters are just for one distance. Okay, so basically, people, when you work with them, you might have 2 or 3 pairs of glasses depending on the distance, maybe computer distance, maybe for driving or something. So at least 2 pairs, right? For one.
Only 2, not more than 2.
Okay.
Not more, because the software in the head gets confused, because you have like 3 different focal planes already then. So not more than 2. Yeah. So 1 for distance and 1 for near work. Yeah. That's it. And also for children. Yeah. So for everybody, not only when the lens is tired. Yeah, which means presbyopic. Not only then, before, to help their eyes before. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Awesome. That's very, very important. Yeah. And in Germany, the people know, the opticians also know it. We have like working classes, it's called. So this is quite normal. You get this even prescribed or even supported by money to take.
What can you say that again? What is it called?
It's like working classes. In German, it's Arbeitsplatzbrille.
Oh, so basically it's like for the computers, so basically, I think the German health insurance companies, they pay for computer glasses or something. When you, like, if you work at a company where you're required to do computer work, it's paid for. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the same system.
Exactly.
So they know that you get very, very tired if you make near work with your distance classes.
Right.
Yeah. And today, Claudia, when I use the wrong glasses, which happens sometimes, I feel my ciliary muscle, the muscle which moves the lens, complaining very fast.
It's like, I don't like this.
Yes, what are you doing? Take all this. It's too heavy for me, you know. But in that step, I wasn't able to feel here from the. I couldn't feel my head at all. But today I feel even the ciliary muscle.
So basically, you get more and more in tune when you go through this process. Yeah, I found the same thing before. There was no awareness.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Okay. So what's step 4? I'm super
interested. Step 4. Okay. Eye exercises and vision exercises. Yeah. For me, these are two different things. Because the eye exercises is really about the movement of the eyes and the movement of the lens. These are eye exercises for me. And vision exercises, this is all what addresses the visual cortex and the brain that really moves the eyes and interprets the picture we get. The eyes don't see, they are just the organ who interpret the light which falls into the eyes. That's all. But the picture is not in the eyes, it's in the brain. So we need these both exercises. Yeah. And for me, the eye exercises, they are for observation only. So that I do an eye exercise to play around and to find out how you could see differently. That's all. And maybe to practice this a little bit and to then go into a new habit. But often I see people who do eye exercises and they do it and they do it and they train and they train and say, for what are you doing this exercise? And they don't know, there's no goal. And yesterday I had 2 boys and they are in the mid-school. And I said, okay, you did this eye exercise. Okay, what did you discover? Yeah, I don't know. He told me. And I said, okay, why you do it? I don't know, you said it. And I said, okay, that's not the point. So, and
can you give us an example? Sorry, can you give us an example of, because I 100% agree, but can you give us an example of what you would consider an eye exercise and what could you call a vision exercise?
Okay. Okay.
So people understand the difference, you know what I mean? Because I don't call them eye exercise at all. And I think, the language, obviously, but I think it's very important to clarify the difference because I love what you said. We see in the brain, and yes, we can exercise our eyes, but that doesn't actually change how we interpret the data back in the head, in the brain. So, okay.
So, eye exercises is all about eye yoga, all about moving eyes, releasing the strain, moving moving muscles, something like this. Yeah, that's for me the eye exercises. But this is only a small part. And one example is the I don't know how you call it in English actually. It's the finger gates we say in German.
Finger gates would be.
If you look from one finger to the other, the second one will appear like this.
Doubled,
So this for me is a vision training, which really then, with our attention, suddenly maybe the second finger appears.
So that is more like you actually notice something, seeing something, doubling, or so versus an eye exercise. To me, a classic one is like rolling your eyes in a circle, or those are the eye exercises, right? Versus the vision exercises when you actually, what you just described was binocular vision exercise, where both eyes have to look together in order to see. Yeah, that's a great. And I love what you said about the boys. So I'm just curious because sometimes I have clients that want the exact drill. They say, give me the exact drills. How many minutes, how many repetitions? And I always resist that because those people, like you just said, I did the 100 swings, for the last 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, what happened? Did you feel more relaxed? Oh, I wasn't paying attention to that. I just did the exercise. And I think that's a very important point that you made, that it's really important to know why you're doing that. So the purpose, and then also noticing what has changed. What are you seeing? What are you observing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
I will never answer this question. I say, no, I don't give you this. No, because that's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
So with the boys, it was like, he said, yeah, from time to time, I look away from the screen and I look outside of the window and I make like, I look at 5 different points. So fast forward and backwards in the distance. And I said, okay, yeah, what happened? I didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah,
He said exactly what you said. They said, okay, that's the important part.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, the teacher is now making check if we did everything. I said, it's not about that. It's about what are you discovering by it? And because then it's like a circle. You get motivated if you discover something new.
And I think that's such an important point that you're making, that it's about your own process versus following orders, being a good student. I think, my background was farsightedness, so I'm the opposite of you, but I think a lot of nearsighted, it's also that, the good girl, like following orders and getting the A and the check mark. And so I think I love what you said of discovering your own things and noticing your own things. And even though, do you ever feel like clients are like, oh, is this okay what I saw? Is that, people get more interested in their vision?
Yeah, exactly. It's one point later.
Okay.
About the trust.
Okay.
Yes,
you go ahead.
yes, it's a very good point, Claudia, but we will come to it later on. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Can you see me, or if not, I will switch off on the lights.
We can see you still. Okay. Yeah.
Dark. Okay. So the 5th is conscious focus and versus open focus. We talked before, and Claudia asked me, okay, what is it? Open focus, conscious focus. What is the difference? Yeah, these are totally 2 different things. So conscious focus means that you are with curiosity looking at things. And that's very, very important. So you don't look at things that you you direct your eyes, you control it. That's a specialty of myopic people also, to really take the eye muscles which are around the eyeball and to dirigate the eyeball.
Oh, to direct them, to like be very okay. Explain that a little bit more, because I obviously don't know how that felt like. So you're meaning like you're making an effort to like look at that and look at that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. A good example I heard today from Nathan. I think he spoke about it. If you tell a child, look in my eyes when you listen to me, you do exactly this. You want from the child that it's staring at you, and it's impossible with good eyesight. You will not be able to do it. You go automatically in strain if you try this. And as a myopic person, you control the picture which comes in also into the eyes, and you control the eyes, which is not a good idea. Yeah. So what I mean with conscious focus is take something with high contrast. With this, you can start outside without glasses. You don't see it. And for example, a street sign. Street signs are very good contrast. And just look at it with curiosity, and try to find out what you can see there. So this leads to clear flashes. Yeah. So maybe it's just like this and it's away again and it's totally unsharp. So I had an experience with this, Claudia. It was, I was at the lake swimming and I was in the middle, there are pontons, you say this in English?
Oh, I forgot what those swimming
So like,
things, right? Where you can lay on these swimming decks, whatever. I forgot what they're called.
yeah,
Floats
decks,
or float, yeah,
like
whatever.
wooden decks, exactly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it was a hot day and you could see at the beach, and it was like a hill, an amount of colors in the sand of all the different towels and things and all, lots of people. So I saw only blur, but I saw the colors and everything. And suddenly I saw a woman waving her towel. And so my system was interacting with this movement. There was something which was interesting, you know, and it wanted to see it. And this is what happens with this conscious focus. And I could see the color of her hairs, her haircut. I could see the bathing cloth she had on, the towel, the color. And it was like 160 meters away. It was amazing. And I was like, wow, what happened here? What was this?
You were interested, right? Your brain was like, wow, there's something interesting. And then you were consciously, I almost like I like the idea of conscious focus in terms of almost like curiosity. It's like, what is that? I'm interested in that. And that's like how children, usually work. They're driven by curiosity. Okay, that's so fascinating. So you had that clear flash.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what happens when we come in school. We have to look at things which we are not interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Many children get glasses when they enter school. That's one point also. Before they choose what they look at, what is interesting.
That is fascinating. So maybe you do want to turn the light on because it does get quite dark. But that's fascinating because I remember you go to school and then some subjects are super interesting. Because when I don't know about you, but when you work with children, I sometimes ask them like, what's your favorite subject and what's your, and then they tell you this teacher or that class, whatever. And, their vision is almost worse because they're so bored or, okay, that's interesting. Okay. So what is open focus then?
That's an interesting point because Bates also discovered this, and we have a lot of science about it, what it means when the school system is very restricted, that it makes eyesight worse. Exactly. So open focus is something totally different. I was looking up a little bit, so I will tell you a little bit about the background. Open focus training, it comes from Les Femi. So the name is Les Femi, and it's a training to change the attention habits. Yeah, this is something. Yeah, some people say, "What attention habits I have?" What does it mean? So Les Femi was the pioneer of the biofeedback research, which today we know in different approaches also with machines, you can measure it. And he, in 1968, he organized the first symposium for biofeedback. So it's really a long time ago he discovered this. And he was actually working also with machines to discover it. What he discovered was the effect of spaces. Yeah, we will do an exercise. So I was thinking about how to teach it in a short way, because really this training is a long-term thing. You really you listen to voices with instructions to change slowly and slowly your attention habits. And when we focus our attention only on details, this is very stressful for our system. This is made for some occasions where we can be very strong to run away or to fight, all these things. And it's about the attention, really. And instead, you open your attention to all senses, like seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, feeling at the same time. That's the point. You open up. And the spaces in between.
Wow, that sounds quite complicated.
Yeah, but normally in a relaxed state, we have this open focus. Yeah.
But how do we, like, for instance, for me, like if, let's say I do a meditation, I'm imagining I'm in the forest, right? And I'm like, what can I hear? What can I see? What can I smell? But I don't do them all at the same time. It's not like, you know, because then I feel like then you're trying to strain by almost like staring if you try to do all the senses at the same time, versus you feel the air and in your mind. I'm just thinking about your mind versus being in the forest, right? You're in your mind and your thoughts go between the different things. They jump really quickly between the things versus having a thought about all of these things at the same time. Is that what you say? Is the thoughts? Is it the seeing, or what is it?
You can do the things all at the same time. It's possible. We do a little exercise, so maybe then afterwards we take your question if you have anything left. So what I have, so it's about if we focus our attention the whole time on details, which we do at computer work with the Excel table calculation. Yeah. So this leads to chronic muscle tension, to stress, to depression, fears, attention deficit disorders. Yeah. It's all about this. Okay. So very important before I start with the exercise is tell your intellect, I hope that's the right word in English.
Intellect, yes.
Yes. Something new is coming, and maybe you never did this before. Just be playful. Yeah. So if your intellect starts, what? No, it's not possible. So just send him away and just wait a little bit. So be curious and play around. Okay. So you take your hands and you rub them gently. Just for a moment together. And then you look at your hands. And you can just hold the hands like this, but look at them also. And now you feel into the right hand. So it's like you can step inside the hand. There's a room inside, and you feel inside of your hand. I think most of the people can feel their hand inside. And then you feel into the left hand. And sometimes it's difficult that you can simultaneously also see. You look at the hand. Maybe you have the intention to close your eyes to feel better. Yeah, it can be, but try to look at the hand and also feel it. And now you feel in both hands simultaneously. You feel both hands inside, how they feel. And you look at them. And maybe it is possible that you also can recognize the spaces between your hands. And maybe you can also recognize the spaces between your face and your hands. And just be with it a short time. And feel the difference. Okay, that's it, just a little short introduction.
Okay.
So Claudia, how it was? How was it?
It was very interesting. I don't know exactly what I felt some energy between the hands. Yeah, I could definitely do that. I felt good paying attention and
yeah. And could you recognize the space between you and the hands, that there is also something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. So when we do this, this leads to the to the alpha waves. Yeah. So we have different brain waves, and what Les Femi discovered was that if he tells somebody to feel also the spaces in between things, then suddenly the person comes into alpha waves, which is the relaxed waking state.
Awesome. All right, we are like almost basically at time, so I don't want to but let's get so we were at point 5. So conscious focus was open focus. So what's point 6?
Yeah, exactly. So this attention, to change the attention habits, this is really amazing thing. So 6 is very short. Fix your blockages with help. Yeah. So you have, I think, other videos about this. We talked about it, but this was one step. So to discover the hindering beliefs one have. So my story was that I did eye exercise, I did reduced glasses, I got to a certain level, and then it stopped. Nothing happened anymore. It was like a plateau, and I was quite stressed about this. So why it's not going on? There can be hindering beliefs like I'm not allowed to see, I don't want to see, I can't see. It can be something else also. Yeah. And that the blind spots, there you need help, definitely, because you can't discover blind spots by yourself.
Blind spots, impossible. That's why they're called blind spots.
Exactly.
So basically, are you suggesting they work with a coach, or is there anything? Exactly. Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay.
Coach or a vision trainer which combines it. Yeah. So I think
we all have those blind spots, and we all have those kind of mindset things. And I totally agree. They're a huge piece that needs to be cleared out before you can make progress. Yeah. Yeah.
And you can explain it also with the brain and the functioning of the vision, of this sense, of the seeing sense, that you can explain it. Why is it like this? Yeah. So the 7th for me is, when did it all start? You have to look back a little bit, and then you will get the next brick or something to solve. What happened then in your life? And normally when I ask my clients, they can immediately say there was this or that. Yeah. It can be something very small for the adults outside. They even didn't recognize it. But the point is that it released stuck emotions. And I think also there you have other videos on this channel about this. And stuck emotions normally don't fit to the current situation. Yeah, that's if you feel some emotion which has nothing to do with this person or this situation in that moment. You say, why I have to cry now because what he said. So this is something from the past, and very, very important to discover this. Yeah, when did it start? Because then the system decided why it wants blur in some distance, And the myopic blur, it's, yeah, when all which is far, what is far away is blurry, it's not frightening anymore. It's very simple, you know. So, and this I can control, something like this. Okay, 8 is start to feel your body and trust it. This you said before, yeah, that's also very important to trust, really. Often I have this, yeah, I saw this now clear. Can it be? The clients turn around, or in the course, turn around. I saw it clear. Can it be? I tell them, yeah, but of course, I don't know what you see. You know, do you trust it? Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, so trust it. That's a big step often. Yeah, not somebody tells me how is my eyesight. I can measure it by myself. I trust what I see. You know, I improved. It's possible.
I think that's such an important point, because otherwise, you know, you get discouraged, and like you said, nobody else knows what you see, but you know what changed, right? You are the best gauge or the best expert to know what changed in your own vision versus somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's what you usually do in with eye doctor visits, right? They tell you, they measure you, and you know, they don't really know what you see. And a lot of times we're scared when we go to eye doctors, and you know.
Yeah, and it's a little bit like, Claudia, like in school, when you get a mark, you get an A, or you get, yeah. So it's a little bit like this, you know, but it's not about this. Yeah. So this step for me was, I couldn't feel my head from here up. I couldn't feel anything. And so slowly, my head woke up, together with releasing the strain, releasing the stuck emotions. Yeah, I had also old pain. So I remember some months here that John was aching a lot. But I knew this is releasing pain. So it was okay. And after some time, it stopped. It's a little bit like when your foot gets asleep. Everybody knows this. And then it wakes up, it aches a lot. Then it stops, and you know it will stop because you have this experience. So I had this experience before, that parts are wakening up, and that releasing this pain is
so sometimes it's like it gets a little worse. I don't know if you sometimes have that with your clients, where, you know, like you said, before you were so numb that you didn't even notice this thing. And for me, there was a lot of, like you talked about, I had a lot of tension in my jaw and my neck. But before, I didn't know. I was just it was just normal for me. It's almost like I totally didn't pay attention. And then I started doing this work, and it's like, wow, I'm so tired and it's so painful. But that was just because now I was paying attention and I was more in tune. So I think you had a similar experience. So sometimes when people say it gets worse, it's just because you're more aware, right? Is that what you also notice? That, yeah.
No, it's, for me, it's not getting worse when I feel pain. It's just the body is waking up.
I'm just saying, like, people feel like they're saying, oh, it gets worse. I have pain now that I didn't have before.
It's not like this. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
it's not like this. And today, even I feel pain in the visual cortex. Sometimes I can feel it now, that their parts are waking up. This is still, I'm still on the way. Yeah. but yeah, I don't pay attention to this pain in that matter. I say, oh wow, something is moving there, something is changing there, and it's like, wow.
So it's a good thing. I think that's an important message. It's a good thing, even though it might not initially feel that way, but it's a good thing. You're waking up. You're waking up your body parts and your eyes and your
exactly.
Awesome.
Okay. So. Yeah, what also in that step was for me is the breathing, yeah, to introduce the breathing, and with the breathing to release this pain, because we can't transform it in our bodies. We can just, we have to exhale it, and then outside it can be transformed. Yeah, so the ninth, and one important thing what I want to add here is, because we don't have time to make the exercise now, I brought from Hetty Draayer, which was from Netherlands. She died some years ago, and she gave us wonderful exercises, meditations, to use the breath to release all this through the body. And the background is that it doesn't matter if you really move your body or you just imagine the movement. Yeah, it's the same bodily functions will take place, and this in all the meditation, traveling, is used the same method, and it's working. So we always can imagine that we can see better, and the body follows, maybe. Yeah. So it's the both ways around.
That's amazing. I mean, Dr. Bates talked about, 90% in the Bates method is using imagination, really. Yeah. And I think that I read some studies where people, I can't remember the exact details, but something to that, exactly what you said. One group was just imagining doing something and they practiced in their head. The other group was actually practicing it in real life. And the group that just imagined it actually had better results when they had to perform it, which is like, what? So this is so amazing. Awesome. Yeah, I'm sorry we don't have time for the practice, but
I have the ninth point.
Yes, do that one.
And the ninth point is just start. Yeah.
Just do it.
Sounds easy, but this is the biggest thing for myopic persons. I didn't start when I was 18. Yeah, I didn't start. Because what is in the way is myopic persons want to do all at the same time in all areas of life, all together. Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit? Can you explain that a little bit? Like, what do you mean they want to do everything at the same time?
Okay.
What?
You never heard it from your myopic clients, Claudia? No?
No, I don't. I mean, maybe I don't understand fully what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. I know it from myself, but it got much better. So when we reduce really the glasses, it's changing. Also, these habits are changing.
Right.
So I don't try to do all at once. Again, how to explain this, Claudia?
But do you mean difficult. Like just with vision? Do you mean vision, or do you mean everything in your life you want to exchange at the same time? I'm not clear what you mean.
And you go in a course,
Yes, yes.
See all at once, you see all the chapters.
Oh, you want to kind of get everything done right away.
Yes,
okay, got it.
All together.
Okay.
So, and
the perfectionistic. Okay.
Yeah, that leads to this perfectionism, which is not possible. It's not like this. So to get results, this is really the important last step. To get results, myopic people need to start with a little tiny step. Really little. One thing at a time, solve this, and then go on to the next thing.
I think that is gold. That is really gold. And people in the chat here on Zoom, on YouTube, somebody said on YouTube, Peggy said, that is so amazing. But I see people here on the Clear Vision Club on Zoom and like, I get it. So I think that's so important to, and I actually am a former perfectionist, even though I'm not myopic or was never myopic. But I think it's that, like it's like getting that check mark, right? Being like, I got it, I'm good, I finished it. I think it's all connected to that. Not feeling good enough, and now we have to so I love that. Just one little step at a time. start with one little thing.
And you know, why is this? Because the underlying cause is fear and insecurity. So we can't jump over a big river with fear and insecurity. We need to do a little tiny step. And that gets us out of this state. Yeah.
That is amazing. And I think that's so true. I think, I don't know, I think because, you know, I love how you started with a goal, right? You started with a goal, number 1, and now number 9 is just start, but do a little step. Because when I encourage my clients to set goals, sometimes what's realistic? And I always say, do something that is meaningful to you, something that is interesting to you, versus like, I can read 2020. I'm like, what does that even mean to you? What does it mean when you see 2020? But I love one little step. We don't have any questions on YouTube today. So we just had comments, and it's wonderful, amazing. So yeah, thank you so much on YouTube. Anything you want to share before we jump off YouTube and we do a little power on the Clear Vision Club separately, but anything you want to share on the YouTube channel? That is, all the links are listed below the videos.
Yeah, exactly. I teach in German mainly, even I speak 5 languages, but you do it in English, you know, so I do it in German only, but it doesn't matter where the people are. If they speak German, we can do it online. And I have a quite new Telegram channel. Yeah,
Telegram, the app Telegram.
I discovered that, yeah, all the algorithms in the social media, you don't get through, you know, you get sorted, the content. And in this Telegram channel in German, I put all the articles, things which are interesting, which I think that's true, what is written there, I put it there inside. And you can also discuss and chat over it. So to really make a channel, if you are interested in natural vision improvement and all this stuff, this is the point.
So they can reach out to you on the website, and then you can link them to the channel, but it's all in German. So you guys, you have to be able to speak German.
Yeah, or you use
Google Translate.
the translation for the channels. It's not important.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You have the channel in the YouTube live. You put it on.
Yeah. I linked everything in there.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. Okay. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much, Sylvia. That was amazing. And I think those 9 steps, I put them all into the YouTube chat. So I put everything as you were talking, I put them in there. And thank you so much. And so goodbye on YouTube. And we're going to have a little bit extra time here at Clear Vision Club. So thank you, Sylvia.
Yeah, you were